So I'm gonna have you sit on the ground. You're leaning on your right arm, so you'd be like leaning on this arm. And the idea with these ones too is I like really try and nail it with like the pose and the light and everything to get it very exact.
Okay.
And then I like to kind of just take some shots that are like cool and fun. So like more like our own version. Yeah, angling this way, your arm will be kind of like leaning up against the box.
Okay.
And then we'll fine tune it once you're sitting. Yeah, perfect. His arm is very much like at a right angle facing the camera like that, and almost like instead of leaning into your shoulder, he's like propped up on his arm. You could even like push your elbow out towards me even more so that it feels like it's like a very right angle like that, yeah. And then the other hand is good. It's just sort of like, yeah, resting on top of the other. And then his head is like turned towards the light a little bit more like that, chin down and kind of like leaning it, not down, but that way, yeah. So I'm gonna take a test shot, see how this looks. I also love this setup because it's such an easy, straightforward setup that anyone can do. It's just a matter of like where you place the light. I'm just gonna keep tweaking a little bit. That's getting closer. So the one thing that I'm seeing that is different from the photo is that like his shadow side on his face is really strong, which means that there's some kind of like negative fill very, very close in that's like pulling all the shadows to be super dark. Yeah, that helped a little bit. Cool. The other thing that I could do is just bring the light a little closer in, which will make it more contrasty. And actually it does kind of look like it's like overhead a little bit for him. Let's try that instead. A couple more different versions. Okay, that's pretty close. Now I'm just gonna compare, see what else needs to be tweaked. Okay, so now it's just kind of like tweaking the pose. So bring your elbow forward more so it's like really kind of cranked out like that, exactly. And then your chin can be angling a little bit more towards the light and then kind of down slightly, yeah. But other than that, it's pretty much like, it's a very straightforward shot. So thinking of like the confidence with the eyes and just kind of feeling like everything is like really strong even though you're leaning into your arm. Maybe even here we could do a couple little like micro adjustments with the angle of your head. I'll just try a few different, yeah, that's cool. Cool. Okay, we're gonna pause for a second. That's looking really good. Okay, so yeah, we'll take a couple more. I might take a couple this way too, just because it's a cool, I like the way that the pose is laid out. Maybe even one where it's like the face is really straight at the camera, like that. Yeah, and then just kind of re-strengthen up your shoulders a little bit. Maybe one too where we kind of get like the eyebrows a little bit more like, yeah, exactly. And let's see if we can even like, yeah, bring everything up a little bit more. Maybe it's like pulling your left shoulder towards camera slightly too, yeah. I'm gonna try a few different camera angles too, like some higher up and some a little bit lower. We'll just take like 3 more. 1, 2, maybe one more slightly turned away like that, good. Let's take a peek.
Super cool.
Just like super clean. I love that too.
Super, yeah. The
Very
landscape
just,
is really cool, having the legs added.
Yeah. So now we can just like play around with our own version of this.
Okay.
Maybe we do one where you put your, actually it'd be cool to do it from above with your head kind of leaning back there. So maybe you're like leaning on your elbows.
On the box?
Elbows on the ground.
Okay.
And then the head's kind of like leaned back on the box, yeah. Yeah, actually bring your legs more this direction so that it's kind of like you're at an angle, yeah. Drop your right leg down towards the ground and maybe you could bend it out a little bit towards the side, like that, yeah. With the left arm, maybe have that one kind of like coming across your body, yeah. And we'll just try a few different like head angles here. Actually, you could with the left hand, you could like bring it back behind your head for some. Yeah, that's nice. Try a couple more in there. Maybe kind of lift your head slightly off of there. Yeah, like you're sort of starting to pull it up. Oh, that's cool. Let's try a couple here. And then actually lift your head up and look straight out in front of you so that your head is like off the box. Yeah, like that. And you're kind of like just looking at the wall here. And with the left hand, kind of bring that up to run through your hair a little bit. Yeah. One more eyes on the camera. Cool. Okay, great. I'll show you those too. I like the profile with the hair and everything. And then I'll let you just sort of move around however you feel for this one. Nice. I liked that kind of looking towards the camera. Maybe a couple like that where you're sort of lifting your head to look around the corner like, huh, what's over there? Yeah. I like how you're leaning and actually the position of your head looking more out that way, but then have the eyes looking that way. Yeah. Let's try a couple close in like that. I'm just gonna move the camera in a little bit more. Maybe a few like really strong, intense eyes, jaw, everything. Cool. Those are great. I'll show you some of these too.
Cool.
I almost like ours better, like our poses and stuff.
Yeah.
That's the goal. It's like you use the lighting that looks really nice and then you just make it better.
Yeah, I feel like it always inspires new shots, huh?
Where some of them, it's like the light is the whole point. This is like nice light that makes your subject look really good. So then it's more about like, what's the subject doing? What is like happening in the photo? Because the light's always going to be like very classic looking with this type of a setup.